Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. I'm Tracy with JDL Threads. Thanks for joining me today, everybody. What I want to do for you guys today is we're going to be making this Mother's Day butterfly plaque that I saw in Creative Fabrica, and I thought it was just so cute. We got to make it, right? So we're going to be using some 3mm basswood that I picked up from Temu a while back. We're going to be using our Vision Pro, We Create Vision Pro laser, and we're going to be using an image that I picked up from Creative Fabrica out with the We Create software. So head on over to the computer with me, and so we can go ahead and get this set up and we can get it cut up. Now remember, like, share, subscribe for me, and let's get this video started. All right, everybody, so this is the file that we're going to be cutting today. I just think it's such a cute file. Butterfly, you are my sunshine. I love you forever and always, mom. Image that we're going to cut out. Now, if I click off of here and go back, let's see. You see, you have many of these mom laser cut images that you can pick from. I just kind of scrolled down and saw one like this one is kind of cute too as well. Let's open that one up. So yeah, I like that one. I think I'll download that one for later. And as you can see right here, it downloaded it over there. All right, so let's go back. So all we would do is we would go to the file that we want to make. We will push open. We would download the file, which I've already downloaded this image. So it would put it over here in your downloads folder on your computer, which is here. You go to downloads and the file would be here in downloads. I've already took it out of this spot. Well, let me do it again for you guys just so you guys can see. So you would just download it, and you see as there says sunflower mom butterfly SVG. You would come over here, click on your folder. You would get out of your downloads folder right now, go to desktop, and then come back, and then as you can see, it would be here. All you would do is you would find your designated folder where you want to put your new downloaded zipped folder so that you can go ahead and open it and save it and do whatever you need to do with it. Now, I kind of like to keep all my folders separate, like as far as lasers, SVGs, even though sometimes I might go back and I might use it for the Cricut or the Romeo to cut out SVG files, because you can use these laser files in those as well. As long as it's SVG, you can go back and forth. All right, so what I would do is now I'm going to come down here to my PC. I'm going to click this. I'm going to go over to laser cut images, and as you can see, my folder was put over here. Sunflower, here it is, mom's SVG. It came in as a zip file. So all I would do is I would click on it. I would go up here to extract. It would extract the files. I've already done it, so it's not going to do it again. It's going to ask me, do I want to replace it? So I really don't want to do that. You would open it up and it would extract all the files out. Then you would go to your open folder here. Now you see the folder's open. It doesn't have a zipper. You will go to your open folder, click on that, and you can now click on the SVG, and there is the file that we are going to be making today. All we would do is we would drag and drop. Let me get out of this tab and come back to my download folder. So all we would do is we would drag and drop this over here to our We Create software like that. As you can see, I've already had it in there, and then it would just put it on your design board. So let me undo that because I've already put it in one time. Okay, now it's going to come in at whatever size the person who created the design made the design, but this is your design board here. Okay, so you can take the image and you can make it as big as this box as you want, as long as you stay in the parameters of the box, or you can make it small by just going here and moving the little boxes on the side of your image. Let me go back and undo that so I can get back to my correct size that I want it to be. I'm going to go ahead and push this one to the side. Okay, so now all this came in together. The stands, these stand legs, and this mom image here. I just made a duplicate of the mom because I'm going to want to put that on here as a score as well. All right, so what I would suggest is if you want to make your image bigger or smaller, highlight everything that came in that image except for this here stand, because you don't really need to highlight that. But these two, you want to highlight them so that when you make them bigger or smaller, everything moves together and then everything will still fit symmetrical in your design. Okay, so I made mine a little bit bigger, which if I highlight this, it should be 10.746 by 8.603, just the butterfly itself. And then as you guys can see, if I highlight the mom and scoot it over, it still fits in there really, really nicely. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I am going to take this mom here. Either one is fine, but I'm just going to take this one. I'm going to ungroup it because this has a cut line. The red is for cut lines, and this here is for line engraving. I don't want to do any of that in here. I just want to outline the word mom. So I've ungrouped it. I'm going to move this sunflower out the way. I'm going to go back. I'm going to regroup that. And now instead of, oh, it all does say line engrave already. You can check over here. Let's see. If I clicked on this one, that says line engrave as well. So I don't want to line engrave that. I want to cut that. So I want to cut the outside of the butterfly. I don't want to line engrave it. So you got to make sure that you're checking to see what everything means, because sometimes everybody else's program, the colors might be different from what your program is. Usually this line, the red line, is cut, but right now it's on line engraved. So I'm just going to go ahead and switch that over, the outside of this butterfly, to cut, and we're going to keep the word mom on line engraved. So we can keep that the same. We've grouped it. We're just going to move it in here like so to where we want it to be. All right, and so that's line engraved. As you can see, if I highlight that, the boxes around mom, it's line engraved. But I want this outside of this butterfly to cut out. So I'm going to change that from line engraved to cut. And you see, it's still red. All right, so what you could do is we could make this mom a different color by coming up here to colors, and let's just change that to yellow. Oh, that's kind of, we can't really see that. Let's change it to green. All right, so now mom is on green, and mom is line engraved for green, and red is for to cut. And then this, all the wording on the inside, if you check over to the right side of your screen, is going to be fill engraved. So we are going to proceed to get that cut. I don't need this extra sunflower here, so I'm going to just go ahead and highlight that one and delete that one off. I'm going to move this one and the stand, and I'm going to highlight both of those, and then I'm going to go to ignore for processing because I don't want to cut that right now. All right, I'm going to go to the butterfly, and I'm going to group everything in that butterfly so that now everything moves together. The engraved mom, the cutout butterfly, and the fill engrave for everything. All right, so now I'm just going to make sure that it is on my design board where I want it. Again, these over here should be checked for line, for ignore for processing, because I don't want to cut those right away. And what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and get ready to cut. Okay, everybody, so I've turned on the device. I'm going to go up here to device. I'm going to click on Vision Pro, and I'm going to do mine through Bluetooth. So I'm going to click that, and I should get a green light up here when it tells me that it is connected. Right now, it's saying my device is failing. Let's click it one more time. sometimes does that. So then I have to come over here to Bluetooth and I have to go to connect, turn off the Bluetooth and turn it back on. And that should get it connected. Let's see. All right, you guys. Well, for some reason, it's failing to connect to my device. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and connect it with the USB cord to my computer. Just going to plug that into the side and we're going to use the USB option instead. Okay, so now you guys, as you can see, it's connected. We have the green dot up here. It was just being really testy, taking a minute to connect them either way, but finally connected. So now this is the inside of my laser bed, where you can see I don't have any material inside of there. All you see is the black inside of the laser bed. So I'm going to take my 3mm basswood, and I'm just going to go ahead and put it inside the laser. I'm going to hit refresh. And then you should see where my wood pops up inside of the laser bed. All right, so I'm just going to move my design over here, make this a little bit, let me just move it up just a little bit because I want to be able to get all that board in there, and it looks like I don't have the whole thing. So I'm going to refresh one more time. Excuse me. All right. Then I'm going to take my image and I'm going to move it as far down on that wood as I can get it, because, you know, over here we try to get the most cuts out of all of our material. All right. So I've selected my material, which was the 3mm basswood. I'm going to do autofocus here, corner, top right corner, autofocus, so that the laser can see how far down or adjust to the height of the materials inside the bed. And then once we get done with that, we're going to go ahead and get this cut out. And I'm just going to move it over just a little bit more and up just a little bit more. There we go. Like that. Whoops. All right. Now we can go over here to where it says material preview, and then you'll see that all we're going to do is we're going to cut out the things in the butterfly and engrave the butterfly. We're not doing the stand and the other mom because we did ignore that. All right. So at this point, we can go ahead and push start. So let's go on over to the machine and hit start and get this butterfly design cut out. right, everybody, so the first part of the design is complete. I'm just going to open it up. I'm sorry it's going to be a little noisy here. We can pull out our wood and see how nicely it did cut out the butterfly. Look at that, you guys. So beautiful. All right, so now all we have to do is cut out the 3D word mom and the stand, and we will be all done with this cut, and then we're just gonna head over to paint. Let's go ahead and get part 2 cut out. All right, everybody, so as you can see, I put in another piece of wood for the 3D effects, and it's a little bit thinner material. And as you can see, this is also wood that I used for my Easter project, for my Easter bunny plaque that I made. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to take this butterfly, we're going to highlight it here, which you see me moving the butterfly around here, butterfly, and we are going to go over to this box, and we're going to ignore the butterfly for processing because now we don't want to process that because we've already done that. So we're going to find this mom, we're going to squeeze it in here some kind of way so that we can get it cut out. Let me just move these stand legs out of the way. So it looks like it's not going to fit there. We're just going to turn it until I can get it to fit. That looks good. Let's just move it down a little. Okay, and so again, we want to make sure that this is on line engrave here and that this outside is on cut. And as you can see, it is not. It is on line engrave. So what I need to do is I'm going to ungroup this, and I'm going to make sure that the M is on cut. The M is on cut. And this outside M, well, let me move this piece out of the way here first, and then I'm gonna make sure this is on cut, and I'm gonna move this back in now. So let me see if I can get that in. Okay, everybody, so what I had to do to make this more easier for myself, instead of trying to get on this little red line, or what I could have put, what I'm going to need to do is I'm going to need to go over here to the left side of my computer, and I'm going to go to layers. All right, then I can see the layers in here. So I got the MOM, the outlines, and I want all those to cut. So if I click on it, if you look over here, to the right, you'll see where it says line engrave. So I don't want those to line engrave, I want those to cut. So we're going to cut those. And then I have to find the inside of that flower, which is here. Let me see how I can do this here. Check that. And I want to do line engrave. There we go. So now I have the mom outside, MOM is going to cut, and the inside is going to line engrave. So I'm just going to go ahead and group that back together. That way I don't move the inside of my sunflower where it's going to line engrave, because this one isn't going to be on the top, and then I can still get everything cut out the way that I want it. All right, so I'm going to check my material preview, and you see that it's only going to cut out MOM with the line engrave. All right, again, I'm going to go ahead and refresh. Materials I'm going to use, I'm just going to stay on the 3mm basswood, autofocus, and we're going to proceed to cut this out. And yes, again, I do use all areas of my material so that we can get the most out of all of my material. So if I hit start, it says it's gonna take 24 seconds. Gonna send that, and we're gonna cut. right, everybody, and as you can see, the mom plaque is cut out. We have the pieces on top, and I think I'm just going to paint everything, and I'm going to use some markers to go in here and color in the fill engrave, and then we're going to paint the whole butterfly, because what butterfly is wood? I mean, that's fine if you want your butterfly to be wood, but I don't want my butterfly to be wood, so I'm going to go ahead and paint it, and I'll be back to show you guys what that looks like.